Merhabalar, ben İmran Mehmet. British Education Büro'dan, BEB'den operasyon müdürü olarak bugün sizlerle birlikteyim. King's College London, tabii bizlerin British Education Büro, BEB olarak resmi temsilciliğini yaptığımız bir üniversite ve King's College London'dan yetkilimiz Dawn Barnes'la birlikte üniversite hakkında bilgilendirme paylaşıyor olacağız seminerimiz boyunca. Ben çok kısa sözü Dawn'a bırakmadan önce e, BEB hakkında bilgilendirme yapmak isterim sizlere. Daha sonrasında üniversite sunumumuz olacak ve ardından da soru cevap bölümünde merak ettiğiniz tüm soruları yanıtlıyor olacağız. Bizler BEB olarak, British Education Bureau olarak King's College London'ın Türkiye'deki resmi temsilciliğini yapan bir kurumuz. Temsil ettiğimiz üniversitelerin Türkiye'deki tanıtım faaliyetlerini gerçekleştiriyoruz ve Türkiye'deki tüm organizasyonları düzenleyen kurum olarak resmi temsilciliğini yürütmekteyiz. 2002 yılında Oxford'da kurulduk. İngiliz ve Türk kuruculara sahip bir yapımız bulunuyor. 22 yıldır İstanbul, Ankara, İzmir olmak üzere 3 büyük şehrimizde danışmanlık hizmeti sağlamaya devam ediyoruz. Uzmanlık alanımız tamamen Birleşik Krallık ve İrlanda eğitim sistemi olduğu için İngiltere, İskoçya, Galler, Kuzey İrlanda ve İrlanda olmak üzere bu 5 ülkedeki üniversitelerin giriş şartları, başvuru süreçleri, vize, konaklama ve tüm iletişim süreçlerini öğrencilerimiz için yürütmekteyiz. Tüm danışmanlık kadromuz Birleşik Krallık ve İrlanda eğitim sistemine hakim. Bu alanlarda sürekli olarak güncel eğitimler almaya devam etmekte olan bir uzman kadrodan oluşmakta. Birleşik Krallık ve İrlanda'da toplam 150 civarında üniversite bulunmakta ve biz bunların 90'ının Türkiye'deki resmi temsilciliğini yapmaktayız. Bizleri daha sonraki etkinliklerimizle alakalı internet sayfamız, Instagram ve Facebook üzerinden takipte kalabilirsiniz. Aynı zamanda İstanbul, Ankara ve İzmir ofislerimiz, Lefkoş ofisimizde dahil olmak üzere e, bu numaralardan bizlere ulaşabilirsiniz. Birleşik ve Krallık ve İrlanda eğitim süreçlerine dair. E, Ben sözü Dawn'a bırakıyorum. Çok teşekkür ederim. Dawn, thanks so much. It's yours now.
Thank you, Teşekkürler, and merhaba everybody. I'm Miraba from Reggie, who's our mascot. If you come to campus, you'll see Reggie. I think he comes to Welcome Week especially. I'm Dawn from King's College London. I'm going to give you a presentation about King's and try to cover everything as quickly as I can so I can take your questions. So hopefully sharing my screen will work. Always a gamble. Okay, I've found the presentation I want. And hopefully you can see.
Yeah, but it's not full screen now.
No, I just need to do the slideshow and we're good to go. There we go.
Yeah.
So I work for the Centre for International Education and Languages, and I specifically look after King's Foundations, the King's Language Centre and summer programmes. I won't talk about the Language Centre very much today, except to say that if you come to King's as an undergraduate or a postgraduate student, and in some cases as a foundation student, you are able to study a language with us as part of your programme. We offer over 26 different languages, and that may be of interest to you. I'm also going to specify that at the moment, I'm talking about 2024 entry. 2025 may have some changes, but this will give you an idea of the application process. And we will be speaking with BEB and others in due course when we know what 2025 looks like, so that they know about any changes and can help you with your applications. So a bit about King's College London. We're one of the top universities in the world, one of the top universities in the UK, and one of the top universities in London. We're one of the Russell Group members. That's the top 24 universities in the UK who are research-led universities. And that means that you're being taught stuff that isn't published yet. I had a session with an academic in music actually the other week, and he is publishing a book at the end of this year, and the information in his book has never been published in the world before, and his students are learning this with him as he does his research. So you're learning things that don't exist yet. We've got excellent, famous alumni, and in this presentation talks about heads of state and Nobel Prize winners. My personal favourites are the Olympic gold medalists and the musicians who graduate from King's. So we're a diverse body. We are very successful in politics, in the Nobel Prize, and in sports, and in the arts and music. We have comedians who've graduated from King's too. So it's not all serious. We've got over 40,000 students in the student body, and roughly half of those are international students. So you'll be mixing with people from around the world, quite literally over 150 countries are represented, and that includes our staff. So don't expect that because you're in a UK university, you will only be taught by staff from the UK. You'll get a whole bunch of different perspectives from different people around the world, both your fellow students and the academics who you will be learning from and studying with. This gives you a flavour as to where we are in London. I'm sure many of you have been to London before. So just to highlight a few, all the red boxes point to places that are King's. So we've got the library, some of our campuses and study areas, and some of our hospitals, including St Thomas's and Guy's Hospital are there. And then the grey boxes refer to famous sites in London, also places that we have partnerships with. So as a King's student, you might be studying a subject area where trips to the Houses of Parliament are offered as part of your programme. You might go to the Royal Courts of Justice, thank you, as part of your programme, and get to see some of these institutions in London that we're famous for. And there's also lots of great things like the London Eye, lots of theatres, lots of everything for your free time and your enjoyment really while you're in the city. So I'm going to talk briefly about undergraduate and postgraduate degrees. The main thing to say, although this says undergraduate at the top, it's pretty much the same for postgraduate. So I'm not going to list all of our degrees. We have over 180 undergraduate degrees and probably over 400 postgraduate degrees. So they're in rough subject areas for you there, and some of the very popular ones are listed for you. Some of these are degrees. So we have a good STEM offer, including engineering, computer science, artificial intelligence, biomedical engineering, and your standard sciences. Have a new undergraduate degree, natural sciences, which starts this year. The first intake will be with us on campus in September. We have a lot of health sciences. So apart from medicine and dentistry, there's nursing, there's sports, exercise and medical sciences. We do biomedical sciences, pharmacy, and so on. Very, very popular again for politics and economics. Another wide range of degrees there, including international relations, economics, PPE, and standard politics as well. PPE is super popular at undergraduate level. We have a business school and a law school. We will have 5 degrees at undergraduate level in the business school soon, because we've got a new one that is about to hopefully be finalised by our quality assurance system. We don't like to offer you a degree that doesn't meet our strict requirements. And we've got arts and humanities. So we have creative media, culture, media and creative industries. We are the only, or definitely the first, UK university to offer that at undergraduate level. We do a range of languages, as I mentioned. We have literature courses, history, classics, and lots of other programmes you would expect a university to offer. And many of these go into more detail in your postgraduate studies, which you would expect. The best thing to do to find a degree you want to do with us is to look on the website, where everything is listed and there's more detail than I can give you today. This is where it doesn't work. There we go. So undergraduate entry requirements, this is the A-level column, which is the most common column that we use in the UK because we've done those ourselves and I understand those the best. Then IB qualifications are here, and we also take the advanced placements from the US into direct entry for undergraduate study. At the moment, the most competitive degree at undergraduate is computer science. It's asking for A star, A star, A. We are at least in the top 30 in the world, if not higher. And this is an area where we're seeing a lot of growth and a lot of interest. We're actually launching an artificial intelligence and philosophy undergraduate degree soon. There's a lot of moral and ethical questions which you may have heard about in the media around artificial intelligence. And we think that combining artificial intelligence with philosophy will be very valuable for students in their future careers. You will have an English language requirement as an international student coming to King's. And so generally for your undergraduate degree, you're looking at a 7 overall at your IELTS with 6.5 at least in each skill. There are other language qualifications we accept. A full list is on the website because I can't fit them all on the slide. But this gives you a flavour of what those requirements are. And then if you are a hopeful postgraduate, I've looked on our website and I've based this on economics and policy, MSc. So of course it will be different for different degrees. But you can see to the left of the screen, I'm terrible at left and right, it says equivalent international qualifications. You can find this for any single degree on our website and choose Turkey if that's where you've done your undergraduate degree. And it will tell you what the GPA is that we require for that particular master's programme. And then you'll also have your English language requirements, and you can see that that is a band B. Toward the bottom of the section on English language requirements on our website, you'll see a link to the English language requirements page. And to the right of the screen, that's what that page looks like. So you would go to here and you would choose band B, where it will detail exactly what qualifications you need in terms of your languages. And whether or not you meet them, you might then wish to do a pre-sessional. We offer pre-sessional English, which I will talk about more for both undergraduate and postgraduate students. So King's Foundations, that's who I work with, and we are the department offers both the foundation programme for students who need an extra year of academic qualification before they can go on to undergraduate. We also offer the pre-sessional English for students who need to meet an English language requirement by a little bit extra before they join us for undergraduate or postgraduate study. And we also offer our new programme, Prepare for Postgraduate, which is a 2-week programme for people like me, perhaps, who haven't been at university for a long time and we've forgotten how to study, or for people who've never studied in the UK before. So if you've done your first degree in another country, this will be useful for you to understand the intricacies of a UK higher education degree and to make sure you're ready to do the best job that you can when you start what is usually a 1-year postgraduate degree. So the International Foundation Programme, this year we have over 800 students and about 10% of those are from Turkey. Turkey is the 3rd largest group of students in our foundation programme, and we think they're excellent students and we would definitely like more of them because they tend to do very well. So as a foundation student, you will prepare for your study at a university in the UK, hopefully with King's. We hope you want to stay with us. You're a King's student from day one. You're based in Bush House, which is the beautiful building behind these students. And that is also the home to our student union. The business school is based there, social sciences and public policy, who teach the politics, for example. I think computer sciences are in this building too. And then across what used to be a road and is now a pedestrian area with tables and chairs and places to socialise, you've got maths and engineering and other degrees. So you're really in the heart of the university. And I say that because some universities in the UK have a special international campus where you are 20 miles away from the actual university. At King's, you're in the heart of the university. You are guaranteed a conditional offer for undergraduate study at King's. There are 8 exceptions to that where you have to go through UCAS, but for the other degrees, at King's, you can choose up to 3, usually by February, and this is new. You don't have to do a personal statement, and we hope many students will choose to apply in this way and not do UCAS, because it's additional stress for you to do a new personal statement and the application. There's also some scholarships available, and we are the largest foundation programme offered within a university, and it's designed and taught by our staff. We don't have a different company offering our foundation programme for us. We want you to be King's ready, and the best way to be King's ready is to do the King's Foundation. New for 2024, I'm not going to go through this in too much detail, but it's the 3 available degrees that you can apply for skipping UCAS. And we do have a new student experience team. I'm in Istanbul at the moment, and my colleague from student experience, Nia, she's actually gone home today and she's not here, but she and her team spend a lot of time making sure that the students are happy, and they get involved in social activities as well. You're not just at King's to study, and this doesn't matter whether you're undergraduate, postgraduate or foundation. You're here to have a social life as well, to understand yourself better and to find new things or to follow interests you already have. I think that's that for that. So in terms of the foundation programme, we have 3 kind of groupings. So we've got the business and economics group. So a lot of these pathways lead on to the business school or to social science and public policy, or to natural, mathematical and engineering sciences. So that's where you want to go. And all of our pathways map onto at least 10, if not more, degrees. The middle column, liberal arts, global politics and social science. So you would choose one of these. If you want to do law, you would choose the global politics pathway, and you would have to do an LNAT for King's. Not all law schools in the UK require an LNAT. So when you do apply, you need to be aware you have to do an external test. That means we do not guarantee you a conditional offer, because that external test is outside of our remit. So you do have to use UCAS, and you may want to apply to other law schools and perhaps consider some that don't require the LNAT as well. We can always talk about that more later. But this particular pathway goes on to law and the social science and public policy faculty degrees mainly. Liberal arts and social science mainly maps onto arts and humanities. Again, there's flexibility in all of these. They do offer a wide range of degrees. And finally, you've got the sciences cluster. This is the one I don't understand, but I know many of you will. So biology and chemistry, if you want to do health sciences, including medicine and biomedical sciences, you will need to do biology and chemistry. We have computer science and maths, engineering and maths and physics. So those map onto a whole range of degrees as well. Again, if you are looking to do medicine, you should be aware of 2 key things. King's asks for the UCAT, so that's another external test. It means we cannot guarantee you a conditional offer for undergraduate medicine. And as an international student, there is a cap from the UK government on the number of international students that we can accept to medicine. At the moment for King's, that's 80 students. So you should be aware that it's difficult to get onto medicine in the UK for this reason. And when you do apply, we strongly recommend that you choose at least one other health science related degree that you would be interested to study, because there are no caps on the other degrees. And I'm afraid that's out of our hands. And then since 2017, we've had over 2,000 students go on to King's. Actually, I looked at this figure the other day, and since 2020, it's been over 1,900. So a really large number of students do stay with us. Entry requirements for the foundation, and this is based on biology and chemistry. I'm sure you can see this, but you would be required to have a high school diploma with an overall score of 75. And any pathway where a science or maths is mentioned, you would need to have a 75 at least in that subject. So for computer science and maths, you would need to have maths. For biology and chemistry, you need to have biology and chemistry. So that gives you a good indication, hopefully, for your qualifications. And then the progression, I just mentioned here, 1,919 students since 2020. And you can see the King's Business School has had over 650 students in the last 4 years from the foundation. The next most popular is Social Science and Public Policy, which is where international relations and politics and war studies and geography live, among other degrees. Next most popular is Engineering, Maths and Natural Sciences, with just almost 400. And then Arts and Humanities has over 200 students. Some of these are smaller. So Psychiatry, Psychology and Neuroscience, it only has 2 undergraduate degrees. So it's never going to take hundreds of students from the foundation. But as it gets more degrees, I'm sure that number will go up. Nursing isn't terribly popular from the foundation. Very happy people want to go into nursing, but that's just a popularity thing. Dentistry, there are not very many places, so that's a really good number for foundation. And where's law? Law, as I said, the LNAT makes that difficult, and you'll see the numbers who progress onto law is quite small. Some students will go on to other law degrees at other universities. I know it's a popular subject, so I do want to manage expectation properly. So over the last 3 years, progression to King's has been about 75%, and 15 to 20% go to other UK universities. Some of them go to UCL, which makes us very sad. Some students will go to Bristol or Manchester or Exeter, all of which are Russell Group universities. They might not like London, or they might decide they want to do a degree that King's doesn't offer. So if you're doing biology and chemistry and you suddenly decide you want to be a vet, sadly, you'll have to leave King's because we don't do vet science. So roughly 90 to 95% of students from the foundation go on to a university in the UK. The other 5 to 10%, we think they mainly go abroad to study. Maybe they go home because they don't love London. Maybe they go to the US or Australia. We only have data about the UK because we don't have access to data in other countries. But most universities accept the King's Foundation, and so it's a really good qualification if you want to study in the UK or elsewhere. This is what you need to apply. BEB know this very well, and they can support you in the application. You apply directly for the foundation, not through UCAS. And you need a personal statement, your transcripts or predicted grades from high school, and your IELTS. As I said, we do accept other qualifications, and that's on our website, and there is an application fee. We only make conditional offers until you have your academic and your English passed and in place. I know it's a very stressful time for students, but just to reassure you, the UK students don't get their results until the end of August. So it's a stressful time for everybody, but of course, the sooner we can get your results, that helps you with applying for your visas. So these were the dates for 2024 entry, and they'll be similar, I think, for 2025. So applications will open in autumn, probably October of this year. Last year, we suggested the end of February to apply. There are certain pathways that are very popular, like the business ones and computer science especially, and biology and chemistry also. So do apply early if you can, and we do close pathways as they become full. It's not because we don't want you, it's because we want to make sure we can honour that conditional offer. If 100% of students meet their offer on the foundation, then 100% of students can stay at King's. And we don't want to take more students than we can have those places for. I don't know when the deposit will be for 2025 yet. I imagine it will be around the end of March or beginning of April. And after that, if you get offers after that time, you will get a different date given to you. And the deposit is £5,500. We have extended the application period this year, but as I said, some pathways have now closed. So at King's, I talked about our student engagement, our students' foundation particularly. We've just launched an event for them, which is almost like a graduation. So we have an end of year event with awards, and they had a really great time. So we're going to continue to do that. And we also encourage students across the university to join the student union and get involved. There's about 4 different types of groups. So you've got your sports societies, you've got your country-based societies. There is a Turkish society, but you might want to join the Korean society because you love Korean food. I don't know, it's completely up to you. There are more interesting societies. There's the Taylor Swift Society, I would join the Cheese Society because I love cheese. There's a Tea Society. The Turkish and the English love their tea. And there's another group of societies which are perhaps more subject-based. So there's mooting for the wannabe lawyers among you. There's entrepreneurship societies, business networking, and all of those kinds of things that are related to your degree and are good for your CV. Pre-sessional English, we now offer undergraduate and postgraduate. We've separated those out. We've seen more undergraduate students applying for pre-sessional. These are the dates for this year, but the main points are that you have the opportunity to boost your IELTS score by between 0.5 and 1.5. Also helps you to settle into King's, make sure that you meet your language requirements. We have 16 weeks, 11 weeks, or 6 weeks are the length of time. And if you are going to be a postgraduate pre-sessional student, you can also study online. And 98% of our pre-sessional students met their conditions to carry on to King's last year. Supports you in your English language, helps you with your academic skills, and gives you a little bit of extra time to settle into King's before everybody else arrives. So, yeah, as I said, separate programs for undergraduate and postgraduate. We've got different streams for postgraduate students, so business and other streams, sciences, to give you the right academic language for your program. And we have students from, at the moment, around 10 different countries. Not everybody needs to do a pre-sessional, and some countries are more excellent at English than others. We don't have a lot of Turkish students on pre-sessional, but it's good that you have the information in case you need it. And you can see our outcomes from 2023. Pretty much almost 100% of people were happy. So some key dates for this year for undergraduate, I'm not going to linger too long, and key dates for postgraduate. I think you can only now apply for the 6-week pre-sessional. Then for 2024, we've introduced a Prepare for Postgraduate 2-week programme. I talked about this a little earlier. It's for people like me who haven't been in education for a while, or it's for students who did their first degree in another country. So you'll develop your academic skills, you'll learn our systems, and believe me, that is in itself a task. So we have online systems for students, and you'll be introduced to all of those and know how to use them before you start. And you'll be able to start to make your friends, build networks with both students and academics. And that has a tuition fee of £1,800. Starts on the 2nd of September, so finishes before Welcome Week, so you can join in all the fun activities of Welcome Week. And the application deadline for overseas students is the 21st of July, because of course you need your visa to be processed. And it's slightly later for UK applicants for the same reason that they don't need their visa to be processed. And the picture here is of our library, which is hugely popular with students. And it's a lovely space to study. There's also a lot of spaces for laptops and some more technical equipment these days. Very briefly, summer programs. We offer pre-university programs and undergraduate programs. The pre-university is 1 week, and you can do up to 4 different sessions next year. And undergraduate is 2 weeks. If you're already a King student, you probably don't want to do an undergraduate summer with us, but we have a lot of partnerships around the world, so you can go to another country and do a summer program and get a discount because you're a King student. The pre-university one has about 30% UK students who also want to try out university before they come. So it gives students an opportunity to explore different subject areas before making a decision, and also to see if university is right for them, if London is right for them, if the UK is right for them. These are the ways that you're taught, so fairly typical of university, so a really good way to get into university and understand how it works if you're pre-university summer, and if you're an undergraduate, you'll be used to this, but with some universities, our summer programs are also credit bearing, and you can add those to your degree. So this is the 2025 summer school, which is hot off the press. We did 3 sessions this year, and we wanted 600 students. We got 750 students, so we've introduced another session to try and cater for that. because we don't want to have huge classes of students. We want you to enjoy your time. So there are 4 sessions. The modules aren't exactly tied down yet, and this is more for Imran. As soon as we do have those, absolutely in cast iron, I will let you know, but this gives you a flavour as to the kinds of things that you can study. So students might want to do STEM followed by computer programming, or they might want to do business management, and then they might want to do marketing in the following session. So they can mix and match and do 2 or 3 or 4 sessions. Undergraduate summer school, we haven't yet signed off what's happening for 2025, but this is the 2024 list and gives you a flavour of the kinds of programmes that we have available for you if you're interested in coming to King's for an undergraduate programme. At summer, you have to have completed 1 year of undergraduate study before you join us. So every student on this programme is at least going into their 2nd year of undergraduate study. And as I said, there are credits available in these as well, and everything is taught by King's academics. We also have a biomedical engineering research programme. Again, I can share information with Imran, and I won't go into much detail, but your deadlines and some information are on the screen. Summer application process is a direct application to King's. You apply via kcl.ac.uk/summer. You can book accommodation, and you'll get some discounts if you apply early, so by the 31st of January. Applications should open in November time, and the residential package is also available. And I'll just point out that if you're a pre-university student, you'll be 16 or 17, so we have extra care and support in place because you're not yet an adult in the UK, just to put your parents' minds at ease that you'll be well looked after. If you're undergraduate, that's completely different. The tuition fees are up on the website, on the screen for you now, and you must be 16 when you start and have an IELTS of 6 or equivalent. There are discounts for early bookings. That's more about residences and some of the prices with the residential package. Undergraduate, those are the tuition fees there again, and your academic requirements. You must be looking to obtain a 2-1 or equivalent in your degree, and all of the details about those equivalencies are on our website. I'm aware that we need to get to questions soon, so King's Residences. We have a summer society. The social element is really important to us, but there's also trips to museums, there's sports, and there's extra academic events for students. Good for your CVs, good for your overall experience. The students liked it. They've met interesting people. It's made them want to come to King's, or they've just had the time of their lives. Useful information. You might want to photograph this. These are the fees for 2024. So I've put kind of parameters up. So postgraduate degrees range from 10,000 to 35,000 roughly, with some being more. Accommodation prices roughly for you as well, just to make sure you've got some idea. I imagine there might be an increase in prices for 2025 entry. And then some useful links for you as well. So kcl.ac.uk and then / and the extra bit that's here for the foundation, for funding, for accommodation, and so on. So you can look at those. Again, that's a slide worth photographing. And that's it. Thank you very much. And I'll stop sharing and I will take your questions.
Thanks so much, Dal, for the information and the presentation. We already have questions. I can start with the first one. I understand that Turkish high school diploma grade is not accepted. IB diploma satisfying the entry requirements is the only way to apply and get acceptance. Please confirm if so. Please also let us know if a student that couldn't satisfy IB requirements for the university acceptance can apply for the foundation program.
So Imran, the MEB is the Turkish high school diploma, yes?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we do accept the MEB. It's just that you would come to do the foundation first. you're looking to have 75% overall or more, and then you might be asked for 75% or more in specific programs. So, as I said earlier, and I know it was done really quickly, if you applied for computer science and maths at foundation, you would have to have 75% overall in your high school diploma and 75% at least for maths. And then you would do the foundation and you would move on to undergraduate if you meet the conditions of your offer. The other thing I will say about the foundation is you have at least 15 hours of contact time, whereas once you start undergraduate, you have 8 hours of contact time. That's very typical in UK universities. We expect you to do a lot of independent study. So the foundation is a nice transition between high school, where you're there Monday to Friday for a lot of hours, and going to university. So you have the 15 hours of contact time, plus you have a personal tutor hounding you to do your work. I had a shock when I went from A-level to undergraduate with all the free time I thought I had. I got my grades after term 1 and realised the independent study is very important. Next question.
Thank you. The next one is additional to the above question. AP is a plus or not enough for the acceptance?
So the APs, if you do 5 or more APs, you would apply to go straight into undergraduate degrees. If you do fewer APs, then you would be eligible for the foundation program as well. In terms of the AP grades, they're pretty high. I'll take computer science because I can remember it because it's right at the top of the list. An offer for computer science would be 5 APs and 5 5s, which is very high. I think the lowest AP offer is a 5 and 4 4s, to give you a flavour of those grades. It is all on the website.
Thank you. Göksal says that thank you, Dan. It was very useful session. I have seen progression from foundation LLB course, very small numbers. What's the main reasons? Is it only for LNAT? Any score target for LNAT? Except LNAT, any additional requirement, for example, foundation GPA or something?
So yeah, it's really small numbers for law, and we believe that's mainly down to the LNAT. We find that international students find it more difficult to get the grade, the score on the LNAT. Which is why I wanted to be very honest with you and suggest that when you do apply for law, you look at other universities and look at some that don't require the LNAT as well. Yeah, I think the target score for students on this year's foundation was 28 in the LNAT. We haven't yet published the scores for 2025 entry because we don't know yet. As soon as they're available, there's a big table that we put onto the website, and you can look at it by degree, and it will tell you which foundation pathway you need to study and what grade you need to get. So for most foundation programs into degree, you're looking at a B+, which is 65 overall. For some, which would include law, computer science, and the business school, you're looking at an A with 70 or more, but each degree is listed as to what you need to get, and yeah, so that you've got that information. I hope that helps you. Is that Göksal?
Yeah, Göksal.
Göksal, thank you.
Yeah, the following question is, thank you for the presentation. Is having an internship or law important for acceptance? Will it have an effect? What's the required LNAT for law courses?
So the LNAT, as I said, for this year, we were looking at a 28 or more. I don't know for 2025 yet, but if you take that as a ballpark, it gives you an idea. An internship, it's a nice to have, but it's not essential. We know not everybody can agree internships. It's not always available. Some countries don't even have that opportunity. So if you can get one, that's great. But there are other things you can do. You might, for example, I don't know if you can do this in your country, you might, for example, shadow an MP for a day, or a member of your parliament, or a member of your council. They deal with a lot of legal issues and legal paperwork, so it shows an interest that way. But you don't need to have an internship at all. So please don't worry about that.
Thank you. Another one is the admissions to the undergraduate program guaranteed if the student is accepted to the foundation program? If not, what are the requirements to complete during the foundation program?
So it's not guaranteed. You have to pass the foundation, as I just explained, with either a B+ or an A, according to the degree that you apply to. Our foundation is accepted by pretty much every university except Oxford and Cambridge, because they're different to everybody else. So you probably will, if you don't come to King's, be able to go somewhere else. You'll have a personal tutor as a foundation student, and if they think you are borderline as to whether you will carry on to King's, they'll have a conversation with you and they will encourage you to apply via UCAS as well, to have a backup. So in that circumstance, you would have 8 university applications, 3 to King's and 5 via UCAS. There are 8 degrees, including law, medicine, dentistry, pharmacy, nursing, physiotherapy, and 2 I've forgotten, where we do not guarantee conditional offers, because you either have to do an interview or do an external examination. And those 8 subjects, if you're interested in one of those, you have to use UCAS.
Thank you. What about the requirements for transfer students? I am Koç University International Relations student, where I left 5 courses to graduate. Is it possible to get courses from King's College London for my graduation?
So is this about transferring from one university into King's?
Yeah.
I think this depends and is on a case-by-case basis. I know the US requirements, for example, for us to take you into the first year of undergraduate study at King's from the US, we expect you to have completed at least 2 years of US degree. I don't know for Turkey, so I would have to find out. Imran, do you want to make a note, and I'll email and speak to admissions with the specifics, and then we can get an information to, is it Jan?
Can.
Jan, yeah. I'm trying to learn the Turkish letters, so apologies if I get it wrong. And we can get a response to him, Imran, with the absolute information.
Yeah, thank you. I will let you
Thank you very much.
I understand that the minimum GPA requirement is 75. If our GPA is less than that, we shouldn't apply at all. Or is there any other criteria that would compensate the gap? And what would be that one?
So we wouldn't say don't apply. I will not go into too much detail, but there was a student who applied and their maths from Turkey was 65 average at the time of application. I don't know what that student did, but her application, her final year was 90%. So her average came up to the 75%. So chat with your school counsellor, chat with your agent, and see what the realities are and if you're likely to achieve much higher than you think. If you're borderline, say 72, 73, 74, it's worth applying. The worst that can happen is you'll get a rejection, but you will never know if you don't try. But as I say, some students really turn it around. So from a 65 to a 90, we couldn't give her an offer when she applied in December because she was too far below. But by the time we got to May or April, then that average had increased significantly and that student received an offer. I hope that's helpful.
Yeah, the following question is, to open a psychology clinic in Turkey, we need to have master's degree in clinical psychology. If we graduate from clinical psychotherapy MSc program, can we open a clinic in Turkey without any other training? Does it provide equivalence?
I don't think I'm an expert on psychology in Turkey. I think if it's like in the UK, you'd have to do the DClinSci, which is the Doctorate in Clinical Psychology. I'm not 100% sure, and Imran might be better at that than me.
Yeah, they need to have a clinical psychology MSc degree certificate to open the clinic in Turkey. But we can contact the students after the presentation to talk more about that.
Yeah, and if you do the DClinSci, that's the 3-year program. It sometimes has funding attached to it, though. It's one of the programs where there are scholarships available. So that's worth thinking about. I'll leave that one with you, Imran.
Yeah, sure. After studying for 1 year in foundation program, do you ask for IELTS score for UG admissions?
Do we ask for IELTS for UG?
Yes.
Yes.
After
foundation.
completing foundation.
No. So one of the modules in your foundation program is English language for academic purposes. And if you pass that with the required grade, then you don't need to do another IELTS because that is your English requirement.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Last year, I received approval from KCL for LLM course. I applied again this year. Although it took more than 11 weeks, I still didn't receive any acceptance or rejection. How long will this last? In the email I sent, the answer was, and has been considered strong enough to be placed on hold, and so there will be a further delay in providing you with a decision at this time.
Yeah, so borderline students will go on hold, and then depending on acceptances from students who achieved over and above the grade, then further offers may be made. I know that's not a great answer. Sit tight. Again, Imran, if you share the details, I'll see if I can follow it up with admissions to get a little bit more information.
Sure. Following one is, thanks for the presentation. I am more used to the US system, where after high school, typical degrees, including engineering, is 4 years. How does this work in UK? What's the foundation level? If you can explain the UK system compared to US university system.
Yeah, so UK foundation is similar to year 1 of a US university. And then year 1 of your undergraduate is year 2 of US. So if you take the foundation and 3 years of undergraduate degree, it's very similar to a US degree. I hope that answers your question. And then you asked for typical SAT scores for engineering. I would need to check on the AP table because I don't know off the top of my head. But let me take a look. And while I do that, we should probably go to the next question because it will take me a minute to find the page.
At the beginning, you have mentioned that there might be changes for 2025 applications. Can you give more details about this?
Yeah, so the changes would be mainly around the dates of things being open, but we are also looking specifically for the foundation at possibly, you know, the clusters that I showed of the business and economics and the liberal arts, global politics and social science and the sciences. What we might do, and it's yet to be signed off, is split them into clusters of health sciences, business, arts, humanities and politics, and the other one would be natural and mathematical sciences. And then within that, you'd have 4 or 5 modules and you would choose 2 modules. So in essence, it's not much of a change in terms of what you would learn, but you would have more choice over your modules. If that change happens this year, we'll be letting you know and we'll be talking to agents because it's quite a big change. The difficult bit really is making sure that you choose the right modules for the degrees that you're interested in. And so I think when we do change, we'll have to do a lot more work with you to make sure you understand which modules to choose for the degrees you're interested in. But as I said, we don't yet know if that's happening for this year or for 2026, and we will let you know when we know. And feedback from agents will be very valuable to us in managing that as well. But that's really the only change. It's not a major change from your point of view, apart from the fact you get to choose your modules at foundation instead of us telling you what they are.
Thank you. Next question is, if French high school baccalaureate diploma could apply directly for the UG programs?
Yes. You can. So most of the EU qualifications, not all, but the French bac, we take for direct entry.
For the LLB courses, predicted IB grades, well, what would be for the acceptance IB grades for the LLB courses?
It will be 766 and 35 points overall, I think, for the LLB. It might be 776, but it will be one of those two. And I also have the SAT for engineering. You'd be looking at 700 to go back to that.
Thank you. One of our attendees asked that, is there any scholarship opportunities?
It depends on what program you're looking at. I did put a link on the last slide, but one, I think, with the funding. So if you go to that link, you enter the details that it asks you for, you answer some questions, and it will come up with any scholarships you're eligible for. I usually say that the UK government and the Turkish government are very similar in that they don't like to give money to students, which isn't really great for any of us. So any scholarships we have are listed there. If you're applying for the foundation, we do offer up to 10 scholarships a year, which can give a student £4,000, and any foundation student who progresses to undergraduate study gets a 10% scholarship or discount from their first year of tuition. Scholarships are rare in the UK, particularly at undergraduate. For postgraduate, especially in the sciences, there are more funding opportunities available. They are all on our website. When we have them, we're really excited.
Well, thank you. I applied for PG programs, and currently I am waiting for the final decision. If I received conditional offer, when is the deadline to provide IELTS score?
The deadline for your IELTS scores is the 31st of July, and that's mainly for visa application purposes. It's the same for academic results, the 31st of July. The sooner you can give it to us, the easier it is for everybody.
Thank you. What's the AP requirement for the economics UG program?
Or let me come back to that page. There you are. So I'm going to post the link in the chat, and this is for advanced placement and SATs. So what you need to do is look at the degree that you want to apply to and see what the A-level requirements are. And then what we have is, actually, should I share my screen and show this?
Sure.
Okay. You gonna let me share my screen? Yes. Okay. Can you see that?
Yeah.
So the link I just posted would take you to this area, and you can see I've gone to the advanced placement, ACT and SATs. So you have the A-level result in the left-hand column. So this is A star, A star, A. That would be computer science and some of the degrees, probably only computer science, if I'm honest. And then you have to have either what it says in column B, which is 5 5s and 5 APs, or you have one item from column A and one from column 2. So you might have a 5 in 3 AP subjects, and an ACT at 30, and that would allow you direct entry if you were to apply. I think the requirement for engineering is 3 A's, but I don't remember, so you would need to check. But if it is 3 A's, you'd be looking at 5, 5, 5, and 2 4s in your APs, or you'd be looking at a mix of 1 AP subject and 702 SATs and an ACT at 28. So you really do need to have a look at the website and fight through that to understand. But I think that table's reasonably clear once you find the link to it, and I have posted the link in the chat.
Thank you. I have seen English-French Law LLB program. Progression from foundation to this program, is there any additional requirement except ELNA?
Sorry, what was that question again?
Is there any
Oh.
additional requirement except ELNA for this program? English-French Law.
I think you might need French. I don't know off the top of my head. It will be clear on the website, but I think you probably need some French language. So I'm pretty sure you do need some French language for French law.
Yeah.
If you go to the degree page on the website, it will tell you what the conditions are.
Yeah. I think if we need to complete the session, we can complete. There are several more questions, but we can answer them after the presentation. But if you have time, we can go through.
I have a little bit more time.
Okay. So another one is, what are the requirements to be accepted as a home student? I am British citizen and have been living in Turkey for the last 3 years. Can I get home student fee status?
I think you can't. I think you have to have been living and studying in the UK for the 4 years before you start your degree. And so you wouldn't be eligible for the home student fee. I believe that's correct.
Yeah. For APs, do we have to report all the AP scores other than the required number?
No, but it won't harm you to put your other AP scores in as well.
Okay.
I think you get a transcript, don't you, with all of them anyway? So you would give them all with that transcript.
I'm a bit confused with the answer to SAT question. Is SAT required for the application to the engineering program?
So if you're doing the APs, it depends how many APs you're doing. So follow the link in the chat above. And if you're doing 5 APs, you won't need the SAT. If you are doing 3 APs, you will need a SAT score or 2 SAT scores as well.
Mm-hmm. And the last question is, if the student is graduated from a French high school in Turkey, will there be an advantage for English-French law program acceptance?
I guess your advantage will be that you're good at French and you'll meet the French language requirements.
Yeah. So, yeah, we covered all the questions on the chat box. Thank you so much for your all information. It was really useful for our students and parents. We hope to see you again in Turkey soon.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Teşekkürler.
See you. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Bye.